If you listened closely during the presidential debate last week, you heard Donald Trump talk about the Federal Reserve creating an economic bubble in this country. But what does he mean by that, and how could it impact you? Those are important questions. Here to help us with the answers, Omaha's retirement strategist, Darrell Bryant. He's one of Omaha's premier financial advisors and the president of D. Bryant Retirement Strategies. He also hosts the Retirement Strategies radio show on 1110 KFAB here in Omaha. That airs Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. He's all over the place, including here every Monday. Darrell Bryant, good morning.
Good morning.
This is timely for sure. Obviously, we've got another debate, vice presidential tomorrow. We've got another presidential coming up.
Looking forward to it.
But looking back to a week ago today, and Donald Trump claimed that our economy, I think the phrasing, and I want to get it right, quote, big, fat, ugly bubble with increasing debt. Generally, broadly about that statement, what are your thoughts?
Couldn't agree more. We've been saying that for quite a long time. The Fed has become increasingly political. They've been suppressing rates, right, keeping interest rates low. Everybody knows you can go and have a nice low home loan rate, right? Can't get much if you're trying to save some money at the bank in terms of CDs. So it's easily recognizable that rates have been suppressed for a long, long time. This creates bubbles, Mary, not only in the stock market, but in the housing market, and eventually there has to be a day of reckoning. So he's exactly on point, and I couldn't agree more.
At this point of politicizing it, I think his point, and to generalize it, is that the Fed is trying to keep rates where they are while President Obama is in office. Is that typical? I mean, do you see that?
Well, the Fed did not, in the past, has not functioned on a political level. I think they've become increasingly political in terms of their policy, and indeed the things that they've done over the past 8 years have caused this market to move forward. There have been, I'm reading an article this morning out of Morgan Stanley, and the growth in our domestic market, 60% of the, let me rephrase that, 60% of the growth in our domestic market since 2008 has come on the very day that the Fed announced their rate policy. 60% of the growth.
Do you see a hike then in 2017?
Well, eventually we have to raise rates. I've always been in favor of letting the economy determine how much money is worth, but the Fed is telling us how much money is worth in terms of the cost of borrowing, and so it tends to create bubbles.
What would a hike mean to our economy?
Well, I can tell you what it would mean to the market. Back prior to Janet Yellen taking office in 2014, Ben Bernanke said, you know what, we're going to raise rates, and the market fell 500 points that very day. Then, 3 days later, he rose again and said, you know, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to raise rates, and the market marched forward again. So we know that once they announce a rate hike, that it'll drive the stock market down. So we do have to be fearful of that.
We hear the word bubble, at least I do, I think about crashes. What does it mean for an average investor who's been working hard, they've been putting money back, I mean, they're kind of following that path, and now they're hearing all of this? What is your advice to those people who are in that retirement red zone, which is your specialty? What do you say to them with all of these words floating about? Number
one, get out of the way, because I think there has to be a day of reckoning, and it's coming soon. And if you're nearing retirement, you think you're you know, two years away, 3 years away, 3 or 4 years on the other side of retirement or more, you better get out of the way. Or at minimum, in our office, we're going to protect our clients using asset lock, which protects our clients' downside. There's no way in the world that they're going to implode when the unthinkable happens, like 2008. We already have a plan for that.
I'd never heard of asset lock until Darrell started coming on the show, and that's one of those where you know what your comfort zone looks like, and it's sort of like locking it into that so that you're not surprised, and everything you worked for evaporates.
It's your life's work.
Yeah, you know what's happening as it happens, and that's one of the greatest tools Darrell brings to us. But I also want to share this offer because I feel like countless people watching could benefit from this.
Sure.
If you would like some one-on-one advice about where your portfolio stands and if it's protected in this uncertain climate, call the number on the screen. Darrell's team will do a complimentary portfolio review for the first 10 qualified callers. The number is 402-932-2141. Darrell, this is completely free for viewers who qualify. What would they get out of this?
Well, it is indeed. We're going to do what we call an X-ray, Mary, at the office. We're going to look at expense ratios, the risk. We're going to look back and say, you know what, we know what happened in 2008. How is your portfolio positioned right now? If the unthinkable again happens, what's going to happen to you? You need to know that at minimum, protect against that. We always need to have safety valves. We're also going to do fee analysis, find out what's happening inside that portfolio of yours, and spruce it up quite a little bit generally.
Yeah, well, are you spending money where you don't have to be? Are you generating income? Are you doing all of these things so that, I mean, you work your whole life and then you retire and then you stress out?
Yeah,
I
that's
want
no
no
fun.
part
That's
of
not what I
that.
wanted.
I want to enjoy retirement, enjoy your grandbabies, go on trips, get a golf membership. That's what it's about. So Darrell, again, this is so generous. The first 10 qualified callers, you get a free complete portfolio review, and all you need to do, call quickly. It's 402-932-2141. And then, listen, that offer, by the way, if you already have somebody you're working with but you need a second opinion, I'd recommend it. We have this event, Darrell, coming up.
It's a big
Food,
one.
fashion, finance. You're combining 3 things on October 25th. Tell us more about what's happening at Noah's.
Going to be wonderful. If you haven't seen Noah's, it's a great, beautiful event. Ladies are going to love that. We have food, fashion, finance, just like its title. We have Chico's coming in, other vendors that are going to do some ladies stuff. My daughter takes care of that at the office. Sarah runs the office.
Good call.
Yes, and so great food, great people coming in. Have a lot of giveaways. We're going to talk about some basic things about finance, kind of real high level, but a fun night for the ladies to get out, socialize a little bit, and get to meet some people out there.
Space is limited though, so we encourage you to call to let them know you're coming, and the number for that, just like the special offer, it's 402-932-2141. Darrell Bryant, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, guest of the Morning Blend.